I'm speaking with Gabriela Scheinerova. Gabriela, thanks for taking the time to speak with me this morning. We're at Shared Services and Outsourcing Week in Prague. Tell me about your role and about the HR function at Covidien.
Good morning. I'm responsible for the HR Shared Service Center EMEA in Covidien, and we are part of the global shared service organization which we have in Covidien. And we have started only a few months ago. It's about 9 months ago when we started to operate in EMEA. First we started to support HR only, and then we 6 months ago moved on and started to support also employees and managers. So that's our current role. We have several processes on right now, and of course look forward to expand more for EMEA.
So you're speaking here, Gabriela, on a panel about improvement. Now with such a new shared services, you wouldn't generally think of improvement immediately. So why did you decide to make improvement part of the strategy from the start?
That's a good question. I would say that this is the company, part of the company culture in Covidien. So I was very positively surprised when I joined the company that every new hire in the shared service center, not only the HR shared service center, but also finance, has a mandatory part of the onboarding, also lean and continuous improvement. So although we are very young, we naturally already start to look into what we measure, how we measure it, and how could we potentially move next to the next phase, to the improvements. So obviously the measurements are the base for improvements, and that's our stage right now. So we are defining what do we measure, how do we measure it, and the improvement is the next stage for that.
And for example, if you would find that some of the data are slacking or below where you would like to be, what would your strategy be for improving or focusing on those areas?
Yeah, obviously we already have some objectives, especially we have SLAs and KPIs in place which are aligned globally. So there are already, I would say, key measurements given for the shared service organization as such. And we compare to it. So first of all, we compare to our counterparts or colleagues in other regions, but we also benchmark with other shared services around the globe. And that's how we, see where we should be. If we are not there, then obviously, as mentioned, there are lean activities which we could run. There are also Kaizen methodology which we use in a standard approach in the company. So we observe ourselves towards the SLAs and KPIs, and if we don't fulfill, let's say, or don't follow, then we would put in place actions to improve.
Now, what kind of results would you be looking for? And what I mean specifically is, can you give me an idea of perhaps processes or metrics that you're looking to be very successful in?
So obviously the first priority of the shared service center is always the customer satisfaction, I would say. And then it's always also being a good partner to the business. So I would say follow the business when it comes to objectives and support the business to be able to run the results. So that's would be the answer.
How is HR going to be making a difference to Covidien in its market? So what I'm really trying to get at is the fact that you've set up the HR shared services. There's a lot of talk today about being business partners as opposed to just providing transactional services. How is what you do going to make a difference to the actual business in your region?
When looking at the shared service setup, I would see the most important bringing a quality into the company, and when it comes to HR, especially the quality of data, because this is again base, for other activities, and I would say for many activities, not only linked to HR, having the HR data standardized. So this is one of the key things I see, the quality of the services and the quality of data we work with. But then, as you mentioned, also providing good service to the business. So, in our case, I would say we are pretty well settled in the organization as such. So in the pillars, the HR pillars which we have in Covidien, and what we try to do is really, as you mentioned, not provide only transactions, but provide more consultation when it comes to processes and drive the alignment across the organization.
And Gabriela, how are you set up for this kind of a collaboration with your business units?
So we have, I would say, special setup at Covidien, divided in different pillars, where we have business partners, where we have COEs, where we have solution delivery teams, and we also have the HR Shared Service Center fitting into the model, and all together we work in so-called a community of practice in order to get well aligned and cooperate and collaborate. But in general, I see Covidien as a very collaborative company. So
the culture is already there.
The culture is already there, exactly.
Why was Prague chosen as a center? Why the location here in Prague?
There is a, I think, answer like many other companies who have the shared service center around Prague. So it's certainly about the labor arbitrage. It's about the language knowledge. It's about the quality of service which can be provided out of Prague. It's also about the cost, although it's not the main driver for the decision for sure. So there are many criteria why we have selected Prague, and I think it is a good decision.
How many languages do you supply with your services?
We currently support 6 languages, but people in the shared service center talk more than that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Gabriela, for your time.
Very welcome.